Food Power came about at a critical time, amid kind of all the welfare reform, the austerity, which is kind of dwindling people's abilities to feed themselves.
Everybody deserves to have good food and to have a good life. So that's why we're doing this.
Food insecurity is such a big issue, and I think finding as many ways as possible to try and tackle it, especially harnessing the local experience and local knowledge of hundreds of organisations across the UK, is just invaluable. Food Power is a network of local alliances across the UK working to tackle the root causes of food insecurity. Food Power helps alliances develop and coordinate action to reduce food poverty. So the number of alliances who registered with Food Power was 85 in the end, which was far more than the target of 32. And 88% of those had created a food poverty action plan, which is a way for different organisations within an alliance to come together to prioritise action and to organise and coordinate activity. So, for example, fuel poverty and food poverty organisations working together to refer between them. And that was particularly helpful during COVID crisis.
Food Power promotes the involvement of people who've experienced food poverty and gives them a platform. The work of Food Power has been a game changer, specifically around the Experts by Experience programme. And what Food Power did, nationally, was work really closely with 15 Experts by Experience and forefront their voices in a range of different activities, be that providing evidence at the House of Lords Select Committee, taking people to the Conservative Party conference, making films like Darwin Gets Hangry, or being on Channel 4 News and Radio 4, allowing those voices, which are often silenced, to be heard by a range of different audiences. And looking towards the future funding, I think we need to really emphasise the importance of retaining the knowledge and the skills of people with lived experience, rather than allowing this to fade.
Food Power enables alliances to evaluate their impact. There's a lot of provision available within the food poverty sector as a general rule. However, without evaluation, we're unable to see what works effectively and what doesn't. The benefits of evaluating for our alliance here in Middlesbrough was that we were all able to look at different elements of Food Power, not just our own core area, because we have themes. Different people sit within maximising income. Then there's people that will sit within fuel poverty. We were able to look overall at the whole objectives of the alliance and find out how we could work together collectively to make a difference. That might be teaming one organisation up with another organisation so that they could share resources, skills, knowledge base to provide a better service to residents.
Food Power supports alliances to share learning across the UK to enhance responses to food. I think the peer mentoring programme was absolutely vitally important to the success of developing food alliances. I think partly this is because a wealth of information and experience is being developed in certain parts of the UK, and that wealth and experience needed to be shared, both to develop partnerships but also to develop action plans so that they can bring together various different actions to help mitigate some of the impacts of household food insecurity. So, for example, would be bringing together partnerships of ideas around maximising household income, how we can create better retail environments for people to come and access food, which have potentially more dignity than just working around a food bank model, for example. The biggest challenge was the time and the resource. The work that had happened in Cardiff had happened over a number of years, and had come as a result of building that platform. And actually that takes time with alliances and partnerships. You can't expect things to happen overnight. You need to be able to develop the trust and the relationships within a network.
Food Power have been influential in the way that food poverty has been addressed. majority of local organisations are now thinking about ways of addressing the causes of food poverty rather than simply the symptoms. And that the proportion of groups trying to do that has increased steadily over the 4 years of the Food Power programme. And I think that's a result of the constant messaging from Food Power that it's really the causes we need to focus on, even though those causes may take different forms in different places. So that may be pushing for living wage employment in your local area, or it may be lobbying national government to make changes to universal credit, which will have a big impact if you have high rates of benefit receipts in your locality. The Food Power are attuned to those local circumstances, but always pushing the message that it's the root causes of food poverty we need to address.
Food Power combines connection to action on the ground with a national perspective to make a unique impact. Food Power has situated collective action as the key lever to tackle food poverty and its structural causes. This is a unique program in the world, providing resources and skills for people to co-produce plans and initiatives across sectors and really bringing together all the diversity of actors locally, but also connecting it to have an impact nationally. I think one of the key things that Food Power is doing is to try to connect people locally from different sectors and very diverse actors, but also making those connections between very different places so that they can inspire each other. They can share the journey of what they've been doing, what has been working, what it hasn't worked. So they are creating this very diverse, very place-based movement that can have an impact in communities, in neighborhoods, in specific places and cities, but also can have an impact in national policies, either at the UK level or in the different nations.